One. GM, what's good, people? It is currently 15 minutes
Minutes
past
past
5
5
p.m.
p.m.
UK time, Sunday, the 28th of December, 2025. Welcome to another amazing episode of Mycelink Sundays. Should we call it Mycelink Sundays? Um,
Yeah, that
Mycelink
that's the name.
Sunday. Sorry, say again?
That's the name. Like,
Yeah. Welcome to the 11th episode of Mycelink Sundays, which is a free weekly webinar covering everything from investing, trading, crypto, stocks. Sometimes talk about AI. You can join this free webinar by clicking the link in the Mycelink IG bio, and then you will find the wonderful Zoom link. Catch the replays on Mycelink YouTube. Now, just to iterate, Mycelink is an idea that was birthed in Q4 2025. It's still Q4 2025. I think maybe early October 2025. Just a couple of homies who were like-minded individuals who cared about making money, cared about generational wealth and financial literacy, cared about health and wellness, had an interest in AI, had an interest in crypto and decentralization. And a couple of homies came together and we birthed this idea. At present, at time of recording, Mycelink is a non-legal entity, a non-registered business, though it may be in the future, who knows. And yeah, we do this free webinar. We're a community. We have nothing to sell at present. We may sell something in the future, who knows? Don't hold me to that. But so far, we're just a couple of homies giving out some information. I'm proud to announce that we're going to have a regular co-host by the name of
Cryzo, Cryzonia on Twitter or X. But yeah, futures trader. Come chat to me.
yeah. Cryzo is a futures trader. He's got a long-term portfolio as well, of course, and he understands and is tapped into macro. And Cryzo, although he wants to keep his identity hidden right now, so he's technically the real ninja. It's quite interesting because he was actually a little bit anti-crypto when I first met him. I remember him actually saying, "I don't believe in this crypto shit," and that was like only 2023 or 2024. I think 2024. So
Yeah, yeah.
to see this guy go from somebody who didn't believe in crypto, who wasn't in the markets, to somebody who's now a better, I'll admit, a better day trader than me. Um, I'm super proud that he's came this far, and the markets, no two traders and no two investors trade and invest the same, much like no two footballers kick ball the same, no two basketballers dribble the same, no two artists rap or sing the same, no two producers produce the same, right? There's fundamental, there's fundamentals you have to learn in the market, but and then ultimately you're gonna adopt into your own style. Before I go into any philosophical or mathematical analysis, I'd like to iterate that nothing in this video is financial advice. We do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. If you are looking for a financial advisor, message us on the Mycelink Instagram, and we know some accredited people within the legal and accredited financial world. This is nothing but an educational webinar where a couple of friends are sharing some information. In this webinar, you will find macro and on-chain analysis by mainly myself. I've got a co-host called Krog who can't make it today. He usually does the news. Cryzo is going to talk about futures and prop firms. And then my wife, Halima, at some point does a health and wealth meditation. So let's get into it. I'm going to do a little bit of news because Krog's not here. Okay, so as I'm scrolling the meta of information, a post from CryptoGit. US inflation has dropped to its lowest level since April 2021. And here's what this means for crypto. The Federal Reserve has been very clear this year. One of the main reasons they haven't lowered interest rates is inflation. Because inflation's been high, right? In 2020 alone, over 20% of all US dollars in circulation were printed. That massive money printing led to high inflation we saw a few years later. A few days ago, new data show that inflation is now at its lowest level since 2021 in America. This is a big shift and it changes the Federal Reserve's options, giving them the option to lower interest rates because they have space for inflation to grow. At the same time, the labor market is weakening. Unemployment has been rising steadily over the past few months. When unemployment rises in a place like America, the Fed is more incentivized to lower interest rates. So there is more capital flows in the market to increase employment. When inflation is falling and the labor market is weakening, the Fed is eventually forced to act, as in print money. Doing nothing becomes a bigger risk. This environment strongly favors crypto. Crypto performs best when liquidity improves, when there's more money in the system, and interest rates come down. And that's exactly the direction that we're heading. Short-term price action doesn't change the big picture. Some of you guys may be eating some drawdown right now. And I'm not somebody to say just hold on, but there is a lot of springing upside that is going to come in the next quarters of 2026, and you have the choice to either DCA back into your bags that are low if you have that are in drawdown. If you're holding good assets in drawdown, for example, not financial advice, but let's say like MicroStrategy, right? Let's just talk about stocks for a quick second. I think these guys are going to go through the most MSTR. Like, this is a huge discount right now. And that's a stock. That's like 3x from the high. Last time we were this low was October 2024. And guess what happened to the price of Bitcoin between October 2024 and the end of 2024? And you compare MicroStrategy, who are one of the biggest Bitcoin holders in the entire world. Let's go over BTC. What happened in the time period that MicroStrategy did this? In that exact time period, Bitcoin went from 60K to 100K. In the time period Bitcoin did 40%, MicroStrategy did 160. They call this leveraged BTC for a reason. Okay. So, what else have we got? I'm going to read an excerpt from my professor who's done analysis. Big ups to Professor Adam from the real world. The title of today's investing analysis was going to be prepare for impact. The reason why is because when volatility is low, we prepare for the opposite, ultra high volume. So let's have a look. These periods here, right, in yellow, are periods of lower volatility. And these periods here in purple are periods of high volatility, right? We've had mainly signs of low volatility for the past 2 years, basically saying that things have to go into cycles, and we're about to see high volatility into the market. This right here is a model by 42 Macro. Sorry, not 42 Macro, Cross-Border Capital, my bad. Cross-Border Capital, which is I guess you could say, investing data company who provide data to institutions and retail, by Michael Howard. This right here is the Global Liquidity Index, right? And its projection of where it's going to go into 2026. This right here is the price of Bitcoin. As you can see, we have decoupled because of injection of fear um, and capital rotation of Bitcoin's relationship to global liquidity index. However, this gap cannot remain so far apart for much longer because Bitcoin is historically and back tested through many models the greatest sensitive to liquidity to global liquidity model asset in the world. So that's positive for crypto and risk on assets. What else? This model here is a model from Chart Inspect, and it basically looks at the short-term holder realized price. So short-term holders is Bitcoin holders of less than 155 days. As you can see here, we've pretty much reset to the Trump crash low. So basically, everyone who bought Bitcoin in the past 160 days is down, and this is good because it's basically the bottom of the fear. This model here on Chart Inspect, by the way, if you wanna find these models yourself, you literally go to chartinspect.com and then you can sign up with your email address. So all these charts are available for free. You sign up with your Gmail. This right here is an on-chain indicator that you can also get from chartinspect.com. And it's basically showing the short-term loss pressure by an exponential moving average of 60 days. So basically the average sell pressure of the past 60 days. As we can see, we've reached the maximum, basically the max. And as this comes down, Bitcoin goes up. It has an inverse relationship. You want to study inverse relationships in the markets, for example, the DXY, the strength of the dollar, and the SPX, which is the S&P 500, they have an inverse relationship, typically speaking. Sentiment is pretty at the bottom. You can go to Google Trends and do that, and then do this for yourself. This is also a tip for those that wanna look at what's trending in the world. And typically, like if I type in silver right now, I bet it's all-time high. If I search for the global search term of silver, I bet it's at all-time high right now. Past 5 years. Yeah, there we go. Silver search terms are the highest they've been in the past 5 years, and they're the highest they've been since 2004, which is completely reflective of the silver chart. By the way, if you missed a silver trade, just like most of us, don't go chasing silver right now, please. Everyone and his dog will tell you that you need to buy silver right now. You don't. The gain has happened. Yeah, that is a disgusting candle. That is gonna correct. Like, oh, for me, let me tell you why this is really exciting. Silver is now the third biggest asset class in the world, right? Boom. This has just showed me that there's money in the market ready to rotate into risk on assets. You see this one candlestick here? This one candlestick here is like $3 trillion or something. $1 to $4 trillion, something like that. But basically, at least $1 trillion in this candlestick pump. $1 trillion in even Ethereum would bring ETH to like $14,000-15,000. So we don't chase things. We understand why things work. Let me go back to where was I at? Oh, I was on Professor Adam's analysis. So yeah, cryptocurrency is at its all-time low search engine from the past 5 years, which basically tells me that this is absolutely primed to catapult to the upside. Momentum and short-term future sentiment also looks pretty shitty as well. Let me have a look. What does he mean by this? Mm, I'm not sure. So let's leave the macro picture. There's a bit of context between Michael Howell from Cross Border Capital and Darius Dale from 42 Macro. The world is shaped towards multiplayer. Okay. I don't think that's true. Have a look at 42 Macro. Executive summary from 42 Macro. Did the Fed just kickstart Paradigm D? Which is basically euphoria. The Fed's new monetary policy framework is consistent with our call for structural reform. Oh, Ali back in. The Fed's justification. Where were we at? The Fed's new monetary policy framework is consistent with our call for structural reform at the institution and risks blowing bubbles in stocks, gold, and Bitcoin over long-term horizon. The Fed's justification for lowering policy rates or interest rates is consistent with our call that the FOMC will lean into the long-term outlook for productivity growth to implement increasingly and perhaps unjustifiably dovish monetary policy. The Fed's pivot to expansionary balance sheet policy is consistent with our call that the FOMC will sacrifice Main Street, which is the main economy, to save Wall Street by restarting quantitative easing to the money printer during a nationwide affordability crisis, and suggest the institution is more focused on solving the reverse repurchase market problems that our macro weather model has identified. If reserve management operation purchases are not temporary, this is the official start of Paradigm D, so euphoria. Powell's commentary in his presser supports our resound. Powell, so Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed chair, at least until May. Resoundingly bullish inclination. Prior to yesterday, we always assumed Paradigm D, the print phase of the grow print sequence required to address the geopolitically driven supply demand. Blah blah blah. We follow a devastating bear market. This was the first time we realized Paradigm C and Paradigm D could be simultaneously or discontinuous. In short, both monetary policy and fiscal policy are easing or slated to ease into an already recovering growth cycle and inflation cycle. That may continue to surprise consensus expectations on the downside due to productivity enhancing benefits of AI. Blah, blah, blah. With the liquidity cycle still improving on a trend basis, this suggests 5 to 6 key macro cycles currently are or will be explicit and are extreme tailwinds for risk on assets over the next year. The risk bubbles in stock, gold, and Bitcoin is not inconsequential as investors seek to protect their wealth from the accelerated financial repression. Blah, blah, blah. So, this is basically the cosign. Next, we have the United States ISM, Institution for Supply Management, which historically has tied in with previous bull markets. The past four examples being the recovery from the 2008 financial crash in 2009, the 2013 bull market here, 2017 bull market, 2021, and of course we've had a lot of lag here in this metric, which is basically representative, this blue line here, of the global economy. And as we expect monetary policy, fiscal policy, and the global economy to recover in 2026, I think people are not ready for the boom. Okay, let's have a look at this. Timeline of key statements. Trump's comments intensified in December 2025 as he nears announcing Jerome Powell's replacement. On the 23rd of December, Trump stated that he wants the chair to lower interest rates in strong markets. Anybody that disagrees with me will never be the Fed chairman again. Moving like a tyrant. On the 17th of December, Trump said the next chair believes in lower interest rates by a lot, mortgage payments to fall further. On the 10th to the 12th of December, Trump expects immediate rate cuts, and the chair should consult him on rates. And earlier in December, he announcement of the pick in early 2026, and he teases candidates. Dovish basically means ones that want to reduce the interest rates in America. Okay, so the executive summary is short term, 1 month. We can expect, I think right now we're going through a dead cat bounce in the market. My professor believes there will be another fuck retail short, high volatility, chaotic recovery to confuse everyone who is sidelined or optimized for recent price behavior. 1 to 3 month outtake. BTC gold ratio looks in BTC's favor. So basically this ratio here, this basically how many bitcoins or how many ounces of gold it costs for 1 Bitcoin. It's currently 19 ounces of gold per Bitcoin. Bitcoin being $87,000 and an ounce of gold being priced at $500. The last time we were on this ratio was December 2023. Interesting way to look at assets. If you want to be high level and compare them against each other. Cross-border capital and M2 liquidity correlations look extremely bullish over the next 3 months, despite something being bearish. Longer term, 3 to 12 months, I have a strong upside bias over the next 12 months. ISM and liquidity cyclical analysis suggests strongly extended bull market. Copper gold ratio as a surrogate for real economic rotation to growth, looking like it's at a generational low. So look at the copper gold ratio. Copper gold ratio. Here we are, copper gold ratio, generational low. If you've not seen me on previous webinars, just to iterate, these 4 lines represent previous 4 bull markets where the lowest we've ever been. This is the price of copper in gold. When the price of copper starts outperforming gold, this is basically an indication of economic growth. Global liquidity is projected to continually rise as central banks look to calm bond markets amidst refinancing requirements. The fiscal situation in the USA is terrible and getting worse at an accelerated pace. Extremely bullish for inflation hedge asset BTC over the next couple of years. Blah, blah, blah. Early 2026 markets will be fundamentally bullish as the debt crisis in the USA picks up speed. More debt monetization equals higher crypto prices. So that's the Professor Adam outtake. I think I did a tweet string. I did a tweet string on Mycelink. An excerpt from Cross-Border Capital. Right, so this right here is a chart of global liquidity. And the Fed used to run to have a much bigger portion. Now they're pretty much equal with China. So the TLDR of this recent report by Cross-Border Capital is that the PBOC is poised for significant further monetary easing to combat domestic deflation and the property-based debt crisis, a path previously followed by Japan and the US. The People Bank of China liquidity injections already are substantial at over 1 trillion in the past year. They've lagged the impact of global risk assets and commodity markets. Anticipated additional stimulus should steepen China's yield curve, weaken the yuan. And let me just iterate the significance of the weakening yuan. So as we can see here, this is basically the price of the yuan in USD. And we've been in a downtrend since 2014, right? So China have sacrificed the currency for a stronger economy. which seems to be the trend in a lot of first world nations. Central banks are in turn crucial drivers of the US 185 trillion pool of global liquidity, yet global liquidity itself has lately been lagging, as evidenced in the following chart. This plots our flash and full estimates of global liquidity. We've been concerned for some weeks about this slowdown, which is partially due to the TGA. Let me just go to finance.fijisolutions.net. Go from May. Okay, so as you can see here, liquidity is climbing and the savings account is declining. Slowly but surely, as this declines and this goes up with new money in the Fed, we will see this reflected in risk on assets. Where are we back here? This is the People Bank of Liquidity injection as going a consistent uptrend year on year. Yeah, we'll leave that there. Again, just to iterate, look how far Bitcoin has beaten off the path of liquidity along with other risk on assets. There is a really good website called unbiased.fyi, and data of market sentiment by multiple, I guess you could say, analyst influencers on Twitter, but verified not by. Okay, if we look at the analysts here, right, verified not by was but accuracy. So we can see here the likes of Woonomic, Capriolio, who's the founder of Capriol Investments. These guys are known for outperforming Bitcoin for the past 11 years in their fund. It gives their bias. Now everything with a pinch of salt because even Warren Buffett can get it wrong. But right now, this site is showing this. It's basically showing a bullish bias towards the market. We'll let that load. 62% bullish on Bitcoin, 63% bullish on Ethereum, 60% bullish on XRP. Okay. Already look at these data sets before from chartinspect.com. Where were we? All right. Let's read this. From Macro, here's an update on what's happening with the ISM. The ISM is one of the market's favorite gauges on the business cycle. When the ISM is rising, the business cycle is improving. When it's falling, it's time to be cautious. Historically, the top of the producer manufacturing index uptrend is often where you see bursts of speculation, but that's not what we're seeing today. As shown in image 3, we haven't had a true business cycle upturn since 2020 to 2021, which was COVID in the 2021 bull market. We only get an upturn when the ISM rises above 50, but it's largely been stuck below 50, contraction. This signals that the cycle has room to run well into 2026. Yeah, as I always say, we're at this low, but look how we're setting higher highs and higher lows, right? Look, these were the previous bull markets, the past two. There's not been a cycle for years. Why? Because the cycle has been broken, right? The 4-year cycle theory has been broken. That's only a theory that appeared post 2008 crash. Okay, I think we're almost done with the pro. And then that's meditation and features and prop firms. with Cryzo, and obviously look at some individual assets as well. Um, mm, 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 mm. Oh, look at this. Looks interesting. Um, trying to open things in new tab and it's just not working. Okay, so we're starting to see some early cycle signs. The blue tracks temporary contracts. Okay, let's have a look at this chart. Over time, I was in temporary help are showing early cycle signs. So early, basically euphoria cycles. Over time, I was increasing. Weekly changes in temporary and contract and employment increasing. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Makes sense. Finally, let's end with this. Here's why we're bullish going into 2026. QT has officially ended. That's quantitative tightening. Light quantitative easing has begun with room to ramp up. We're amidst arguably the biggest technological boom since the internet with AI and quantum computing and crypto. Labor market continues to weaken, which might suggest more rate cuts in 2026. Nearly 80% of global economies are in easing mode. So basically printing mode. This is how bull markets are born. Right. Let me go grab Halima. 1 second. Well, we'll get in teachers. Babe, babe. All right, so it's going to be ready in 5 minutes. I don't think we should go into futures yet, because I don't want to ruin the flow. Let's have a look at Rylan. Would you like to? Would you like to? Like us to have?
Uh,
I've got a Ryland wide man. What?
uh,
What have you got your biggest position in right now?
big is in Oracle, isn't it? So a little bit down on that.
All right, cool. Let's have a look at Oracle. Let's have a look at Oracle. I know it's painful when your biggest position is down, but if you ride it out, it can be your biggest winner. Do you know what
All right.
reprice is on Oracle or not?
Which price? High man, 260.
Two
Yeah, exactly.
60.
Remember
Damn.
when we spoke and I brought out silly prices in it, but I haven't put anything else in there at the moment. But I do have the funds to like double up on my position to pull it down. But it's kind of trying to figure out whether it's at the bottom yet or if it's going to keep on dropping. Um,
Okay, let's have a look at Oracle. Oracle Corp engages in the provision of products and services that address aspects of corporate information in the cloud. Okay.
I think there's some mention of
What made you pick?
Oracle
What made you pick? Yeah. What made you pick this company to be your biggest stock pick?
just because I know a lot of the software that they create and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that is used in pretty much. I use it on a daily basis at work. Most people I know use it. And just I guess what they had it. I think it was like something to do with like what they had planned in the future. I think they had like where's my notes? I think the business that they had coming up in the future seemed like it was like I mean like it was already kind of like set in motion. So there was always opportunities. There was definitely opportunities that they were going to fly higher than what they were currently at. And with it being a well-known company and it's like well established, that was kind of really why I wanted it to be one of my biggest ones at the moment. I think I just brought like I'm still confident with the company. It's just more of the time when I decided to get into it. I think I just brought it in at the wrong time.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Okay, Cryzo, on a technical basis, yeah, do you think the stock's bottomed out? I want to get your second opinion. Just technically.
Uh, from your technical analysis, yeah, it looks like it's bottoming out, but I would wait for a retest of the same position, like the same place. Like if it creates like strong support, and you start seeing bullish movement up, I would definitely think about buying in again.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely wait a bit for sure. But even though, Mac the momentum of the downtrend is pretty much is decreasing, buyers are back in control slightly, or they're gaining control. Um, and yeah, the purple's crossing the yellow and the RSI. So yeah, honestly, it looks like it's gonna go up pretty soon, right? Maybe within like is this the what is this daily?
yeah,
In
yeah.
a
So
few weeks, like maybe a month or so.
yeah, 3 day is saying, look, this is basically saying I'm about to pierce. This is about to saying I'm about to go bullish. This is saying I'm gonna flip over. And the 2 day is basically just done it. And on the day, it's just doing it now.
Okay.
Um, so without knowing too much about the company, I would say this is I would say it's a good buy, yeah. But I would also consider 1 second. What else would I consider? Okay, so this what you gotta think about now, Rylan, yeah. You gotta think about how far are you from your average price. So let's say like 260, right? So right now you are down 23%
Hmm.
on your average price. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So in order to go from here to here, you need to make 30%.
Okay.
This is just this is just one of my stock picks, yeah. One of my stock picks that I'm confident in and that I understand. Like Coinbase is basically not saying you should, but I just want you to think about this, right? And people rewatching, think about this as you're repositioning. Don't get overly attached to the asset. Like if you're in drawdown, yeah, the answer isn't always to buy the dip. The answer is sometimes to think, okay, I'm in drawdown, I have money on the side. Do I want to DCA back into my position and then basically bring this average price down? Or do I want to calculate how down I am, which is 30%, and do I want to swing in a different stock? For example, Coinbase. And this is not me saying you should do Coinbase, but this is just I understand fundamentally because I'm mainly in crypto that Coinbase are the biggest crypto custodian in the world. They are the custodian, so the security, the holder of most of the bitcoins in the Bitcoin ETFs, which is the financial instrument to allow institutions to invest in Bitcoin. And do I believe in Bitcoin going back up? Like even Bitcoin, right? This is gonna spring back up to this high. That's 42%. Like you,
I mean, I did look at
not saying
Coinbase
you should.
just twice. I've looked at Coinbase, and every time I didn't decide to put something in, then it went back, it went up. I just felt like I missed the opportunity. But I guess I think what it is as well. I slightly lost my nerve with stuff as well because obviously seeing a lot of drawdown with stuff. But yeah, I did have Coinbase like actually like on my list of looking to get into. But I was kind of just holding out to speak to you in it to get your expertise in it.
No, 100%. I see Sharplink Gaming, yeah, this is probably gonna drop to $7, and then that's gonna be the bottom. And then it's gonna do another exponential rise. For those who don't know,
Okay.
Sharplink Gaming is the biggest public holder of Ethereum in the world. It's just that Ethereum's just not had a run yet. So yeah, when it's altcoin season, this stock's gonna go absolutely ballistic. Halima, are you ready?
Yeah.
Right, cool. We're gonna do a break with a health and wealth meditation, and then I'm gonna give it over to mainly Cryzo. We're gonna talk about features and prop firms. Right, I'm gonna mute myself.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me, Cryzo? Okay, brilliant. Welcome to this guided meditation by Halima for Mycelink. Close your eyes, focus on the sound of my voice. Allow your body to become completely relaxed. Release all tension from the markets, from volatility, and from breathe in through your nose for seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6 seconds. Visualize yourself standing in a vast digital space, luminous space where blockchain meets consciousness. Golden Bitcoin symbols float around you like fireflies. Ethereum crystals pulse beneath your feet, creating a pathway forward. You are connected, like the mycelium beneath the forest floor, to a vast network of opportunity, abundance, and growth. This is Mycelink ecosystem, where one prospers, the network prospers. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6 seconds. Bring to mind the generations before you, your parents, your grandparents. They worked, they struggled, they survived, so you could be here today. You honor them by learning. You honor them by taking action in this new digital economy. Now shift forward. See the generations after you, living with freedom, choices, and security. Bitcoin at new all-time highs. Your portfolio transformed. Financial freedom realized. You are building that foundation today. This generational wealth, liberation, time, and peace of mind. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat the following affirmations after me. I am building wealth that will outlive me.
I'm building wealth that will outlive me.
I am a crypto wealth magnet.
I am a crypto wealth magnet.
Wealth flows to me effortlessly.
Wealth flows to me effortlessly.
Every decision I make creates ripples for generations to come.
Every decision that I make creates ripples for generations to come.
I am connected to infinite abundance through this network.
I am connected with infinite abundance through this network.
Breathe in for 4 seconds. For 4 seconds. And exhale for 6 seconds. I release old money stories and embrace blockchain possibilities. I release old money stories and embrace blockchain possibilities.
I release old money stories
And embrace blockchain possibilities.
and blockchain possibilities.
My financial education is an inheritance that I give to my family.
My financial education is an inheritance that I give to my family.
I buy low and I sell high.
I buy low and I sell high.
With perfect timing and intuition.
With perfect timing and intuition.
I am patient with growth.
I am patient with growth.
Knowing great things will take time.
Knowing great things will take time.
Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. I trust myself to learn, adapt, and thrive in this new economy.
Trust myself to learn, adapt, and thrive in this new economy.
My success uplifts my entire community and we grow together.
My success lifts my entire community and we grow together.
I am worthy of wealth.
I am worthy of wealth.
I use it with wisdom and strategy.
I use it with wisdom and strategy.
Fear does not control my financial future.
It does not control the future.
It does.
Vision does.
Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. 6 seconds. I am the ancestor my future generations will thank.
I am the ancestor my future generations will thank.
Through Mycelink, I'm rooted in purpose.
Through Mycelink, I'm rooted in purpose.
I hold with confidence and diamond hands.
I hold with confidence and diamond hands.
I create generational wealth through blockchain technology.
I create generational wealth through blockchain technology.
Now see yourself a year from now, your portfolio transformed. You made the right calls, you held through the noise, and you trusted the process. Golden light surrounds you, the light of financial freedom. Every decision you make today plants seeds for tomorrow. You've got the vision, you've got the diamond hands. You're building wealth beyond what you've dreamed of. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Now place your hands on your heart. Repeat after me. I am worthy of generational wealth.
I am worthy of generational wealth.
I will take consistent action.
I will take consistent action.
I am the bridge between generations.
I am the bridge between generations.
The super cycle is mine.
The super cycle is mine.
The wealth is mine.
The wealth is mine.
The future is mine.
The future is mine.
God is greater.
God is greater.
Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for seconds. Exhale for 6. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6 seconds. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Blink your eyes open and become aware of the relaxed and full, abundantly wealthy state. You are grounded, you are connected, and you are ready. Welcome to Mycelink. Welcome to Legacy. So I'd like to ask you, Cryzo, can you please put your mic on?
Yes. Hello.
So I'd like to ask you, what is your want?
To be financially free, to be able to provide for my family and everyone around me.
Okay. And why do you want to be financially free? Why do you want to help your family? What is
Um,
driving you right now?
Self-worth and wanting to be the best version of yourself.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Wanting to be the best version of yourself.
That's beautiful. And from now on, you must remind yourself of that when you get into the markets.
100%.
Ryland,
These
Could
these
you put
these
your mic
talks have
on?
actually been a very good sorry, these talks have been a really good driving factor to my trading. I've been here for a few weeks now. I've done them
Yeah,
every week as well. And these are the weeks where I've made the most money in crypto, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
just saying.
That's really powerful. And honestly, I feel so honored to be part of this journey with you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Ryland, could you put your mic on, please?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So I'd like to know, what is your want in this life, and why do you want generational wealth?
Similar to what Cryzo said. So I guess having freedom in it, I guess, because money provides freedom. So to me, money is not like, to me, love is more important than money, but unfortunately, love doesn't provide freedom. So it would be good to have that freedom of not feeling like, for not feeling trapped and stuff like that, which is kind of a
Yeah,
situation that I'm a little bit in because I work for someone, so I'm being told when to start work, when to go to work and stuff like that. So it would be nice to have that option of being able to just be able to do things off your own back and not have somebody telling you when you can and can't. And I don't come from money either, so it would be starting
Yeah,
something for, generations to follow that hopefully I would leave them something that gives them a better start in life than I had.
yeah. And the action you make today will snowball into them generations, and you'll be honored and you'll be respected for that because you did the work now.
Okay. But I do appreciate these sessions. I guess not just because just for the fact that sometimes I don't think that we all take time just to relax. So I always find like the little sessions here that we do, and when you do the meditation, it just kind of slightly gets you grounded a bit, and just to kind of step away
Yeah,
from the world and just focus on, yourself a little bit.
yeah. The major reason why I do this meditation is to get everyone aligned because you can't be like, you can't just turn up to the gym with your jeans on and some high heels. Like, you have to be in a state where like you're ready to go to the gym and you're ready to exercise. So doing meditation really aligns you with your purpose and your goal. So then when you do like make decisions in the market, you do them from prosperity, not from scarcity. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Doing
that
this
makes sense.
meditation will constantly like subliminally rewire your mind to not be in a scarcity mindset. And a lot of people, because of inflation, we are in that scarcity mindset. So I'm trying to obliterate that through these meditations.
Well, it's much appreciated.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you both for joining this webinar. Okay, Fadlan, now it's time for you. So, no, I'm going to ask you now.
Oh,
So, what is your want? What does it look like?
my one looks like billions of dollars of assets under management.
Okay, and why? Why do you want billions of assets under management?
Um, you know, without just being cliche, obviously the cliche is so I can provide for my family. I really want to be one of one of the best in the world at my field. Just like there's Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, you've got Ronaldo and Messi in football, and then in the boxing world these days you have the likes of Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
I actually want to be world class. I want to be one of the best in the world at this. And I'm down to do this for the rest of my life. I think this is what I'm supposed to do forever.
so when you are in the market and fear and desperation hits you, I want you to remember this conversation that you had with me. I want you to realign yourself with your want and your why. You don't need to know how you're going to do it. We shouldn't be focusing on how we're going to do it. Your want and your why it doesn't need to be said. You. So thank you guys. I'm gonna give it over to my husband. Oh, he's on this side. See ya.
Thank you, Halima. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, Cryzo, you ready to talk about futures?
Yeah, yeah.
Future.
Shung, 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 shung. All right,
So,
so
so
I've made it so yeah, you can share your screen.
okay.
Yeah, man, let's talk to them about futures. Tell them about your journey. Tell them about your Telegram that you've got. How you've had your most profitable week in recent, you know, well, your most profitable week ever, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it in person. I've seen this guy print like the Federal Reserve, and we're also both doing a proprietary funds challenge. So Yeah, man. I've
All right,
spoke
so
a lot. Let
thanks.
me let you take the stage.
Right, okay. I've spent a long time doing the same thing, like trying to do futures and stuff. I've future trade, with leverage. Specifically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to catch this big pump that we're getting soon. I understand the macro,
Yeah.
but so the macro is helping me trade in a certain direction, right? But overall, there's gonna be like a few different pumps. If I get a really good entry on 10x, it's about 50x. I'm just saying. So yeah, I've been working hard trying to figure this out for months. I've been down in like my first like 4 or 5 months trading. And then, eventually after like about 700 hours, watching everything I could, this is by far my most profitable month. I've pretty much doubled my wage. I work full time, right? So and then just seeing it, we had a brilliant week this week. We're up 2% on the prop account. My personal account, I think I'm nearly 3x this week alone. Um, yeah, some good stuff, some good stuff. Really, I've got a personal strategy which I use. If you're more seasoned, properly seasoned like Ninja, you can trade with your own like consistent analysis. You know what you're doing pretty much. But to keep it simple for myself, I tend to just trade. I usually trade one coin, which is Pengu. Um, but I keep it onto my strategy. So once again, I've explained my strategy a few times. My name's Cryzonia. I've done a few lessons. Um, yeah, I've done a few lessons explaining this strategy. I'm more than happy to. Um, so simply, there's three things I use. I use first of all for macro, getting the general direction you want to be trading in. So, for example, we'll go on Bitcoin, we use some price action, we understand. So, I'll go on weekly. We measure our stuff with bullish or bearish pretty much, right? Um, we say it's something bullish or something bearish, right? Over the last few cycles or whatever, every time Bitcoin's had a dip of around 30%. This like it keeps going up. So the 3 dips ago, it was about 28%, then it was 30%. This year, I think it's around 36. But honestly, it looks like it's bottoming out. Everyone's onto this idea. It's bottoming out. So my other two indicators are RSI, but specifically Heikin-Ashi RSI. Heikin-Ashi was this guy who simplified the charts. It just makes everything a bit easier. And I don't know why, but I really like RSI. It's been really good to me. And it's telling me right now, it's just a measurement of is it cheap or expensive, right? The top is expensive, bottom is cheap, right? Right now, Bitcoin is extremely cheap, right? That's what it's telling me on here, right? Anytime it goes lower, it usually gravitates a lot higher up. You know what I mean? It feels like it's gonna push a lot more to the upwards trend. And then my other indicator is CVD bubbles, also known as liquidation bands. If you get the indicator, you have to change the settings, check on CVD bubbles, uncheck these things, and then change your buy and sell order colors, so the bubbles, right? And what we've realized is because there's market makers, right? There's a lot of market manipulation. So they usually the market wants to liquidate as many people as they can. So the platforms earn the most amount of money, as well as the coin makers, right? So we usually see a dump when there's the most amount of buyers, and we usually see a pump when there's the most amount of sellers, when there's the most amount of fear, right? In the weekly, right? Just my analysis alone, right? Everything is bullish. First of all, we've got it in the RSI down to the bottom, and we've got these massive CVD bubbles, which on Bitcoin we don't usually see. You know what I mean? Like we saw it here, right? This beginning here, and it pumped all the way to there. If you want to, talk about when we got the signal, right? About 3 years later, right? Bitcoin's up a lot. It's up a lot, right? So since we're getting these signals right now, and the last time was about 3 years ago, I'm just saying we're probably in for some good stuff for the next coming years, especially with interest rates being cut literally every few months this year. I think it's been like 4 times, right? So next year, with Donald Trump being so focused on crypto, I really do think it's going to be the year to be trading. So understanding that allows me to go into which direction I'm going to be trading within the coming days, the coming weeks, and whatnot. But this analysis, I pretty much repeat it. So I go from the weekly to the daily, right? And on the daily, I can see we're in the middle of a pump, right? It's already started. Usually the top half is a lot bigger than the bottom half of the pump. But on the RSI, it's showing me, big things coming. Personally, I would love to see some more bubbles, but it's Bitcoin, so you don't see them a lot. But on something more small like Pengu, which I trade, we see them a lot or more often, and they do indicate big pumps or big, dumps. But yeah, on the daily on Pengu, looks pretty bullish. But we've been waiting for a move for a while now. Um, on the 4 hourly, we're getting some bubbles here, but we're also so I do think we're gonna get another dip, right? But since there's a lot of people wanting it to push up, and I'm assuming it's gonna keep pushing up soon, we're probably gonna get a dip, right? But I don't know how much. It might be a lot or a little, I don't know. Personally, I do think it's gonna come back down, test this 85, 90 zone again, and that's gonna be correcting the RSI. And then eventually we should see some big pumps without too much change in the RSI, which means it's going to be, there's a lot more momentum and stuff like that. I do use MACD and DMI on MEXC, but, I've not got a full version of trading yet, I can't lie. So I just haven't got around to buying it. That's all. Buy it today. Yeah, but if we go down on the hour, still not a good time to buy. We've got a tiny bubble here, but I would rather see bigger bubbles on the hourly. Um, if you go down to the 15 minute of 30 minute and then 15 minute, it gives you more precise places to buy. So it might be down here cheap, but if the hourly isn't telling me it's cheap, then I'm probably not going to buy. 4 hourly, I'd want it to be in an uptrend. Same with the daily. You know what I mean? So I've got this checklist which I go through every time I open my trading view every day, and I go through it to see whereabouts I think the market will be headed with RSI and CVD bubbles, with my theory of market makers and whatnot. And over the last few weeks, we've been printing. Yeah, so we've been using prop firms because if you
Working,
think
bro.
about it, yeah, we can. We're aiming for 400K by the beginning of next year, right? 4 different 100K accounts. And then by the end, we're aiming for 3 million, right? So imagine one trade on 3 million. We just made an easy 15K. It probably went like zero point 0.2 on Pengu. We just blasted a bunch in. It's the wave. Prop firm trading, especially with day trading, allows you to get a consistent wage. And regardless of the time, you can trade. You know what I mean? Even when the market is down, like it has been, I've still been able to print because I've been on leverage. You know? Saying that though, of course, you never know what can happen. Like when Trump announced the trade war and we had that death candle, everyone got nuked. So if I was going in with high leverage, I would have definitely gone. If I was going in with any leverage, I would have gone. Like, I think some coins literally went to zero. I don't know how it's possible, but they went to zero. So whatever leverage
Jeez.
you're using, it would have absolutely died. However, if you make profit on here, then buying spot, that's as safe as possible. And also the platforms that you buy do longs on and futures trading, they're not as trustworthy as a phantom wallet. So, just be careful where you're storing your money, where you're putting your money and stuff like that. But that's the strat. That's the strat, and that's how we've been printing for the last, few days on prop trading. That's pretty much it. Yeah, once again, I'm Cryzo. If you wanna join my Telegram, just chat DM me on Twitter. It's on my Twitter bio, my ex bio, Cryzonio. Uh yeah, back over to Ninja. I think you're muted.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, hello. Yeah, yeah.
Sick. Um, you know what I'm actually looking at right now? I'm actually looking at some short-term price action. Let me share with you guys. Let me just share my screen. Um, Notice how everything's tied together in the crypto markets, right? So we've had this big wick down here on the 5 minute. Bitcoin just double tapped 28 on the 5 minute, moving into bullish momentum. If you look at the 10 minute here, we've had a sharp reversal. Look at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin 5 minute and 10 minute. Compare it to Ethereum. The Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin is reclaiming dominance. So I think it's pretty clear on Bitcoin. Dogecoin. Look, it's crazy how everything just reacts at the same time, right? Literally, here's Bitcoin, here's Dogecoin. Same patterns. Pengu. I think Pengu has a bit more further to go. And then Solana as well. I'm really tempted to enter a long soon. Can't lie. Look at that. The last
Definitely,
time,
definitely.
the last time the RSI was this low on the 10 minute for Solana was 48 hours ago.
And
And the
I'm
last
starting to
time
get big
before
bubbles,
that,
you know.
huh?
I'm starting to get big bubbles. Just
Oh,
waiting.
shit, let's enter this long.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, should we enter the long right now?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Are you entering Bitcoin?
Should we enter Bitcoin or Solana? Let's enter Bitcoin first. The Bitcoin first. Can't lie, bro. I should have closed my Dogecoin profit today, and then I let it slide. I was at a family event, and then I've just realized loss. Look at that,
Oh,
brutal. Look at that. This is
wait.
not real money, guys. It's not
How
real
much?
money.
How
It's a
much?
prop
How
firm.
much are you down,
I mean, I've basically just gave my money back to the market.
bro?
I know it's a
Wow.
long day. It's a long day, but it's
Are
fine.
were you long or short?
On Doge, I was long. I was eating drawdown. Then earlier today, I was in slight profit. I didn't take it. And when I checked again, I was down again. I had to just close it. I had to just close it.
Shit.
I know. New order.
Oh no. I'm
Zero.
definitely looking to get back into Pengu in a bit.
Will do. You know what? I'll swing like this. Boom. Enter at 87685. And then where's Bitcoin gonna go? Um, 1 second. So let's share my screen. I've just entered at this price. I'm gonna TP at 87979. Quick long. Where are we?
Okay, yo, I'm getting signals on the. Never mind, that's the daily. Yeah, the daily's cooking on a Pengu.
Hmm.
I
I'll leave that
definitely
long
think I'm
open
gonna.
for now.
I think I'm gonna have to enter on Pengu, I can't lie. Actually, in the next couple hours, I will be entering. I think about 3 more hours, and then we'll see whether if the RSI is gonna dip to the bottom, then that's when it will be. So
Hmm. All right, well, I've entered my Bitcoin long for now.
yeah, so far.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, come on. We'll swing back up. Clear pattern. All right, guys, let's leave it here for now. Um, unless Ryland's got a dying question.
No question. Just obviously, we'll drop you a message to plan to have a catch up.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, cool. Appreciate you guys. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Catch you guys soon.
Right. In a bit, man.